It started with one move that stunned both the locker room and the NFL world. Berry dismantled the entire offensive line that had just protected Sanders in a recent outing. Not a reshuffling, not a couple of substitutions. He removed the entire unit. In football, the offensive line is a quarterback's lifeline, and for Berry to wipe the slate clean sent a thunderous message. He wasn't interested in excuses. He wasn't going to let Sanders' development be sabotaged by poor protection. This was about accountability, about change, and most importantly, about creating an environment where Sanders could showcase his true ability rather than being set up to fail. It was a bold, almost ruthless move, but one that revealed the depth of Berry's conviction. And yet, this wasn't just about protecting a rookie quarterback. This was about reshaping the Browns' long-term identity. For too long, Cleveland has been a revolving door at the quarterback position, chasing flashes of talent that never developed into consistency. Dillon Gabriel is the latest in that line of quarterback with real ability. Undeniable flashes of potential, but one glaring limitation he will never overcome: his size. At barely in the NFL's lower percentile for quarterbacks, Gabriel faces an uphill battle every time he steps on the field. He has poise, he has talent, but height matters in this league. It matters for vision over the line, for durability under pressure, and for surviving the relentless punishment that defensive lines deliver. Gabriel, fairly or unfairly, is seen as a risk that Browns can't afford to build their future around. That's where Shedeur Sanders separates himself. With his frame, his height, and his physical tools, Sanders fits the mold of what coaches and executives have always wanted in a franchise quarterback. He doesn't need to be an outlier. He doesn't need to defy odds stacked against him. His body, his presence, his skill set, all of it already aligns with the prototype of an NFL leader. When the Browns looked at their depth chart after Kenny Pickett's departure and Joe Flacco's inevitable nearing retirement, the choice became clearer with each passing day. The future wasn't going to be built around a short-term gamble like Gabriel. It was going to be built on Sanders, a player with both the upside and the physical stature to lead a team for the next decade. What makes this story even more dramatic is how quickly the tone surrounding Sanders has changed. Not long ago, head coach Kevin Stefanski was one of his skeptics. His comments seemed to downplay Sanders' potential, almost as if the organization wasn't sure what to make of him. But with the roster shifts and Berry's bold decisions, Stefanski has changed his tune. Now, he openly pledges commitment to Sanders' development, framing him not as an afterthought but as a priority. The timing of this shift is telling. It came as analysts and insiders started pointing out just how much Sanders was separating himself during training camp. Nick Wright, never one to shy away from bold takes, made it clear Sanders wasn't just a raw talent flashing potential. He was consistent. In camp after camp, drill after drill, Sanders delivered high-level performances. Accuracy, decision-making, poise under pressure. He didn't show one good day, followed by regression. He stacked strong performance on top of strong performance, proving that he wasn't just surviving, he was excelling. Wright's argument was simple: even if Sanders wasn't performing at this high a level, his natural tools alone would make him the better bet. The fact that he's showing both upside and steadiness puts him on another level entirely. Mike Tannenbaum, the former NFL executive, echoed those thoughts but added a blunt reality check about Gabriel. He acknowledged Gabriel's flashes, his composure in preseason, his undeniable skill, but then he dropped the hammer. Gabriel's height is in the 3rd percentile for NFL quarterbacks. That's not just a small hurdle, it's a mountain. The league has seen shorter quarterbacks succeed, but they are rare exceptions. And building a franchise on the hope that Gabriel could be the next Drew Brees is a gamble Cleveland cannot afford. With Sanders, the risk isn't nearly as high. He brings the stature, the durability, and the vision that fit what the NFL demands. And then came TJ Houshmandzadeh, who raised the stakes even higher. In his view, this wasn't just about Sanders' development, it was about Stefanski's job security. He warned that if Stefanski continued to limit Sanders or downplay his role, it could push the coach directly onto the hot seat. The pressure in Cleveland is mounting, and fans are watching every decision closely. Houshmandzadeh's words were clear: the Browns cannot afford to mishandle this situation. If the front office has already gone Elon on Sanders, then holding him back could end up costing Stefanski his position. That's the reality Cleveland now faces. Andrew Berry has made his stance crystal clear. He has invested in Sanders, not just with words, but with actions. By dismantling the offensive line that failed him, by reshaping the roster to give him a fair shot, Berry has shown unwavering belief in Sanders' long-term future. Stefanski, whether by conviction or by pressure, has shifted his tone. Analysts across the board, from Wright to Tannenbaum to Houshmandzadeh, are lining up to argue that Sanders is the better option, the one who offers not only upside but consistency. And the fans, who have endured decades of instability under center, are starting to sense something they haven't felt in years: hope. Still, the story isn't finished. Joe Flacco is the steady veteran presence, and there are voices saying he should start the season while Sanders continues to grow. That conservative approach has its logic: protect the rookie, ease him in, let him learn. But the counter-argument grows louder with every practice, every snap, every analyst weighing in. Sanders looks ready, and more importantly, Cleveland looks ready for him. This quarterback battle is no longer about camp competition. It's about the direction of the franchise. Will the Browns choose the safe, short-term option with Flacco? Will they gamble on Gabriel despite his limitations? Or will they fully embrace what Barry has already signaled and hand the keys to Shedeur Sanders, betting on his size, his skill set, and his consistency to lead them into a new chapter? It's a rare moment in Cleveland sports, one where the pieces seem to be aligning not through chance, but through bold, deliberate action. Barry isn't just hoping for change, he's forcing it. And for once, it feels like the Browns might finally be on the verge of building a foundation that can last. The weight of this decision now falls on Kevin Stefanski. He can continue to play cautious, hide behind veterans, and delay the inevitable. Or he can embrace what the front office, the analysts, and increasingly the fans already see, that Shedeur Sanders isn't just the quarterback of tomorrow. He might already be the quarterback of today. The next few weeks will tell the story. Every rep, every press conference, every preseason snap will be dissected. The stakes are clear, the spotlight is blinding, and for Sanders, this is the chance of a lifetime. The Browns have invested in him. The analysts are backing him, and the fans are beginning to rally behind him. Now it comes down to whether the coaching staff will have the courage to let him lead. So we leave you with the questions that every Browns fan is asking right now. Has Andrew Barry done enough to ensure Sanders is the quarterback of the future? Are analysts like Nick Wright, Mike Tannenbaum, and TJ Houshmandzadeh correct in saying Sanders already has the edge? Or is Stefanski's cautious approach the wiser move, protecting a young quarterback until the moment is undeniably right? Most importantly, can you picture Shedeur Sanders stepping into that role, not just as Joe Flacco's successor, but as the face of the Cleveland Browns for the next decade? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's hear where you stand in this quarterback battle. And if you found this deep dive compelling, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned because this is just the beginning of one of the most pivotal stories in the NFL right now.